to the upside down world. The wife.
It's Veronica. And she's working on getting some more resources. And Hempstead, she's working.
Who's Veronica? How'd she come in?
That was a girl that came in Teal shirt.
Oh, the one who gave the thing to that I got and couldn't find.
Oh, no. The one that just came in.
Oh, okay.
But she's trying to get a Boys and Girls Club and a
Oh, nice.
Boys and Girls Club and I
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hey, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I think we'll let a few more minutes pass by before we begin. It looks like people are continuing to join us, and we do want to wait a little bit so that everybody is able to watch the tribute video to Richard. So we will begin, let's say 1:05.
You have to choose to share audio.
For anyone who may not have seen the note, we're going to give everybody until 1:05 to join. If you would, please make sure you type your name and the name of your organization over in the chat while we're waiting. Thank you.
Alrighty. Well, to be respectful of everyone's time, we can go ahead and get started. We have a pretty good turnout so far. And I think we'll probably have some people trickling in. First, just want to say thank you all for joining us for our monthly Foster Youth Collaborative meeting. My name is Anna Kluth. I am a student hireability navigator here at the Workforce Board, part of the planning committee. I have a few of my colleagues who help plan this as well. If you would like to introduce yourselves in no particular order.
Sure, I'll go first. My name is Maisha Lyons, and I'm contract manager here at the Gulf Coast Workforce Board. Part of this collaborative meeting as well as the planning team. So welcome, everyone.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura Banks. I work at the Coalition for the Homeless, and I am the Associate of Youth Programs over there, and I am on a committee too as well, and the Foster Youth Collaborative meeting today.
Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tyra Green. I am the Outreach Coordinator for Life Enhancement Services here in Houston, and I'm also a part of the Foster Youth Collaborative.
All right.
Good
Aurelia,
afternoon,
go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Casey Davis, and I'm with ACAM. I am the Workforce Program Compliance Analyst.
Thank you, Casey. Aurelia or Bobby, are you on?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Please forgive me, I'm having some tech issues this afternoon, but my name is Aurelia Johnson, and I'm a career education specialist here at the board. I'm also part of this planning committee and a part of the collaborative, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sorry. This is Bobby Cook. I'm the manager of education and special projects at the board. I try to support the rest of the team as they do the amazing things that this collaborative is doing. So thank you so much for being here.
Right. And I believe Janine Gordon, who is with vocational rehabilitation. I don't think she's able to join us today, but she's part of the committee as well. Leading into our next slide, who was one of the beginning partners, collaborators of this group, Richard Funderburg, who passed away a couple of weeks ago, and we want to pay tribute to him. A lot of you hopefully already know him or got to meet him through the collaborative. I know I always learn something from him each meeting or talking to him outside of this. If you didn't know him, you definitely will know his legacy because he's been with the Hay Center for many, many years. And we will go ahead and we'll watch a great video tribute that is to him. If anybody wants to say anything in the chat or come off mic after the video, that's welcome. There's also a link in the chat if you would want to go in there and you can leave your condolences or share any stories. I know his family is probably reading those and it probably helps warm their heart. So we will go ahead and start this. Okay. And can you see the video right now?
No, Anna, we can't see the video.
Okay, let me switch. I knew this was gonna happen. All right, let me try again. Alrighty, so, yes, I see there's some comments in the chat, so thank you guys for making those comments. And I think the best way to tribute to Richard is to continue with this group and be successful. And with that, let me share my screen again. So to transition into some good news for this group, and we will share the link in the video and the recap as well. So awkward transition, but we do have a confirmed date for our Foster Youth Resource Expo in October. So LaShonda Evans at Region 4 has confirmed a date of October 8th. So we are super excited to have that, and we'll really start rolling with the planning from now on. If you would like to be a part of that planning group, we would encourage you to join. If you'll put your email address and let us know in the chat, we would really like to see a lot of school districts involved, because a lot of that planning has to do with transportation and how we're getting students to be able to join the expo. We want as many in attendance as possible. And next we have our guest speaker is Miss Summer Metcalf on the call for our lived experience. Miss Summer? Not sure, maybe she wasn't able to log on. Is Brianna on the call? Well, we might not have our
Yeah,
guest
I
speaker.
just search Anna. I don't see Brianna, or I don't see a Summer Metcalf listed as participants.
Okay, well, maybe maybe we can get her at the next meeting. We do like to have somebody who has a lived experience in the foster youth be a part of our presentation each month, for those of you that are new to the group. So unfortunately this month we do not have anyone, but hopefully we can get a hold of Summer and she can join us next month.
I have a question. Is she through the Hay Center?
She was a contact through Brianna, reached out to her. I'm not sure.
Brianna Hale?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she
Okay.
is Rolanda.
Okay, give me a few minutes. Let me see if I can find somebody.
She's at Bridge Housing.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make some calls. I'll get back with you.
Okay, we will go ahead and get started, and if she's able to join, that's wonderful. Our topic today that we chose last month is the DFPS Hay Center referral process. Oops, excuse me. So first we have Perry to talk about the referral side from DFPS. And Perry on. We're 0 for 2. Aurelia, do you see Perry?
I do not, Anna. I'm looking now to make sure I'm not looking his name.
Okay, well, maybe something came up for him. We have one other speaker from DFPS. She was going to go after Hay Center, but if anyone, do we have a PAL worker from DFPS that could speak to the referral side? Okay, and I see in the chat, Minette is checking on Summer as well. And Minette, since I see you are on, do you want to go ahead and start with Hay Center? so we can get some information on that referral process. Are you and Tabitha on?
I'm sorry. It's just me. Tabitha had a doctor's appointment.
Oh, okay. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. Glad to be available to talk about the Hay Center. Again, my name is Minette Butler. I am the wraparound coordinator here at the Hay Center. Tabitha Jones is the aftercare supervisor. Once we receive the referrals from the PAL workers, DFPS, we then assign the referrals to, if the referrals come in as an emergency, they are assigned to either an in-care case manager or the aftercare case manager. If it's an emergency referral, then their contact needs to be made within 24 hours. If it's a regular referral, contact needs to be made within 5 days. Tabitha, once she receives the referrals, we have an mailbox that the PAL worker sends over the referrals along with the 2054, and she has to assign it to each case manager within 24 to 48 hours. We try to get them assigned as soon as possible so that services can begin. Now, the services that mainly the main three services that we work with our youth are educational, employment, and housing. If a youth, once the intake is completed, during that time, the case manager will determine what services the youth will need. And so say, for instance, if the youth needs housing assistance, then the referral is made to our housing team. And our housing team has to make contact with that youth to go ahead and determine if the youth is eligible for bridge housing, if the youth is in need of a housing voucher. We currently are working with the Houston and Harris County Housing Authorities, as well as Rosenberg and Galveston, to connect our youth with those housing vouchers. We also have, if the youth needs life skills training, we have our in-care team that works with our youth to get them their life skills or PAL classes. You'll hear them called PAL classes or life skills training. We also do KC assessments for our youth between the ages of 14 and 16. We have a KC skills assessment worker here at the Hay Center that reaches out to the youth to have them and their caregivers complete the forms so that they can determine what basically where they're functioning at and what as a kind of like a baseline to determine what benefits or resources will probably be best for them in the long run. Now, our in-care services consist of, once a youth is eligible for in-care services, as long as the youth is between the ages of 16 and sometimes up to 21, if a youth stays in foster care beyond their 18th birthday, they are still considered in care or extended foster care. So the only benefits they can get would be educational vocational funds, and that can be used to assist with driver's ed, to pay for books, to pay for laptops. As long as it's educationally or vocationally related, then those EdVoc funds can be used for that. Once a youth ages out of care, normally at 18, then there's certain benefits that they can access as well. Along with the EdVoc benefits, they can also access their aftercare room and board, which normally is a $3,000 pot of money that they can use to help pay for rent. They can use that to pay up to $500 a month towards their rent, or $350 for room and board. If they're living with a family member or friends, they can use up to $350 to pay for room and board. They can also use those benefits to pay for utilities, cell phone reimbursements. We have Kroger and HEB food cards where they can access up to 2 a month. They're $50 gift cards. Those benefits can also be used to help pay for dorm fees. Some of our youth do go off to college, and those dorm deposits, they can use their EdVoc or their aftercare room and board to help assist with that. Now that's between the ages of 18 and 21. Our case managers work with the youth to connect them with community resources. Some of our youth don't know how to apply for SNAP or food stamps. They assist them with that. we have transitional coaches or our mentors that our youth can be connected with. And those are just volunteers in the community who we try to match up with our youth who have similar interest. We also have, once a youth turns 21, then they are transferred over to our transition case manager, and that's Ms. Rolanda Rushing right now, as well as so that she can work with our youth for case management purposes. That's on an as-needed basis. And she works with our youth up until their 26th birthday. So that's pretty much our referral process. Does anyone have any questions?
I have a question. May I ask?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Okay. So my question was, that is as long, they can stay under foster care as long as they're attending school, right? That can be probably junior college or university.
Well, they can stay in extended foster care as long as there's they have to be in a paid placement.
Paid placement.
Okay. A paid placement. And sometimes it can be the same foster home that they were in once they turned 18. If the foster parent agrees to keep them, they can stay in that same placement until they're 21. We have, there are SIL placements, SIL, which stands for Supervised Independent Living programs. They have to be, there's an application process and they have to be approved to go into a SIL. And then once they're approved, they have to be selected by that particular SIL. Like for instance, the Pelchin has a SIL program. Prairie View has a SIL program. There's some colleges that have on-campus SIL programs, but not all of them do. Okay. So once the youth turns like 17 and a half, or no, if it's mainly within 45 days of them turning 18, that's when they can apply for a SIL. And if they're approved, then hopefully by the time they turn 18, they can just go straight into that SIL. And they're still considered to be in care at that time because that's an extended placement and it's paid through CPS.
And so how long do they have to, if they're going to college, if they want to continue their education? There are some kids that, may take them the 4 years, some may take 5 years or 6 years. Do they stay in care while, even if it takes them longer to finish school?
As long as there's a paid placement that can be located for them. Ideally, they're in the foster home and they can stay in that same foster home, or they can go into a SIL placement. Unfortunately,
sorry, this is Perry also. I'm sorry I'm late. I thought it was at 3:00, but hard stop on 21 though. So the SIL programs, the foster care system will end at 21.
Okay, thanks, Perry.
But they can continue to stay in some kind of placement while they're attending college, right?
Up until they
Not
turn
through
21.
CPS. They can. There are programs. I mean, well, like if they're in college, I mean, they'd have to if they don't stay in care, they'd have to utilize the FAFSA and the ETV to use that money for their living expenses. If they wanted to stay in care at 21, unfortunately, the SIL and the foster care placements end, and they'd have to use up their FAFSA or their ETV for living expenses.
But the tuition and fees is still cover for them.
Correct. At 20. Did you want me to? I am so sorry. I thought it was at 3, but I can cover the tuition waiver and whatnot so that you can understand it fully. I don't know what Ms. Manette had spoken, but I can go with a couple of because I can answer some of those questions.
Okay, I'll go. Were there more, or we can come back to Manette also questions. So Perry, if you want to go ahead, and I just put the email that you sent on Friday, kind of that list of events, and if you want to go ahead, thank you for joining us.
I am so sorry.
Sorry that there was
confusion.
confusion.
It was at 3 for some
No
reason.
worries.
I thought it was at 3. So yes, hi. I'm I'm the PAL work. I'm one of the 14 PAL workers. So there are 2 PAL programs for the youth. Ms. Manette is at the Hay Center. That's the local Harris County Hay Center. But all of the regions will have a transition center. and that's their local PAL worker. I am with the state, so I'm a state PAL worker, and we both do similar things, but what we tend to do is the youth will have a PAL worker that will refer some of the stuff that the youth will need. And we also do stuff to help youth learn independent living skills. The first one we do when they turn 14 to 15 and a half, the only thing that we do is we give them a KC Life Skills Assessment. And it essentially teaches us and tells the kids what they need to know, like if they need to know more about the banking system, if they need to know more about how to get a job or try to find a career. The KC Life Assessment is basically just like a 7 or 8 page questionnaire for the kids to understand what skills they need or what skills they're lacking. At 15 and a half is when we start actually working with the youth. The first thing that we do is we enroll them to life skills training classes. It's about 6 classes of independent living skills, like I said. So they learn about banking, they learn about health, they learn about civic duty, what else? Career or college. Like it's just a very comprehensive 6 class information session. I try to tell the kids, they're kids, right? But I try to tell them to take notes and take that information seriously. We also have what is called an aging out seminar when they're 18. It's 1 day of the same thing. Like roughly, we try to tell them about banking. We try to tell them about getting apartments and whatnot. There are also fun events that teach independent living skills. Like we have a Peaks Camp, which is basically a camp that enables kids to have social skills, and they go for about 3 or 4 days, and it's basically like camping, and they do kayaking, but there's a heavy emphasis on teamwork. So even kayaking or rope climbing, or I'm sorry, a rock wall climbing, there's a component of like they work together so that they accomplish their goals. Independent City is basically teaches financial management. It's a pretty cool event where we pretend like the kids have a job and they buy stuff at the end. There's also like a speaker that will teach about financial management. Youth Leadership Council is basically, they talk about their foster care experience, and they discuss it with like there are sometimes we even invite legislators or legislative aides. So they're not just talking about their foster care experience, they're talking about how to improve the foster care system. Sometimes they talk to the CPS representatives. Again, sometimes they talk to legislators. We're also using that leadership council to give youth opportunity to actually bolster their either their college application or their work applications by giving them opportunities to volunteer. So we've been volunteering at like Habitat for Humanity. We've been volunteering for a farm. We volunteer for a park. So they get some experience as well with doing stuff that can look good on their resume. There's a summer job program. I think Ms. Manette probably had talked about this because this is one of the things that we refer to the Hay Center. So over the summer, before the summer, the PAL workers from the state will refer to the Hay Center PAL workers local so that they can get summer jobs. They have college tours. Again, this is a referral to the Hay Center, and over the summer, the youth can visit in city like Houston, around the Houston area, and then the youth can also visit the colleges at Texas. Some of the PAL workers, like myself, will actually give a personal tour to each of the because the college tour is basically the college will talk about how great they are and what their specialties are, or like in Prairie View or whatever, or Texas A&M, they're talking about agriculture or whatnot. When we do like a personal tour, I will teach the youth what college offices they'll need to work with, like the financial aid department, the admissions department, that kind of stuff. We have prom events. So when the kids want to go to prom, they can get prom items. Again, that's a Hay Center event. We have a graduation event to celebrate their graduation, and we like this is one of the events that we both do. So we will celebrate, like the state will celebrate, and then the Hay Center will celebrate with them. There's a driver's ed and a high school reimbursement for the youth, so they can learn driver's ed, and then the caregivers have to pay for it, and then we reimburse. The Hay Center will reimburse them back. Let me see. We also have we collaborate with workforce. I mean, you guys, and then we also collaborate with HCCs. So we have some events that are like, we have a workforce event where the youth enroll directly to the work-based learning. We also give the youth who are trying to get a job, we refer them to the Hay Center so that they can work with the workforce that collaborates directly with Hay Center. And we also try to get them to a location of the workforce near their house, so that what we try to do is we try to get the kids to just apply to all of these things and you know, get help as much as possible. From 18 to 21, they do have benefits. So 18 to 21, we were discussing that foster care system. They can stay in the foster care system. It's called extended care. I do kind of want to say there are two different things here. The extended care agreement is actually the legal way that even after 18, we can be in their lives. So there's a legal thing that we can start helping them with Medicaid. The Hay Center can help them with like job searching and whatnot, and talking to these agencies, or we can talk to the colleges if they're in college. The foster care placement is a separate benefit where they can actually stay in our foster homes. They can only do that if they sign the foster care agreement, and then they have to be accepted by this. Now the CPS has to accept them, and then the placement has to accept them as well. So like say a youth is applying for Navarro College and Navarro doesn't have placements, even if CPS says, hey, you're accepted to a SIL program, the Navarro College SIL placement be like, oh, we don't have this space. So it really is at 18 to 21, the youth becomes eligible versus entitled, where, you know, like we can't force placements to take them. And even CPS, the Austin, doesn't have to take the youth if the youth is not showing independent living skills. So some of the youth that are, unfortunately, this is how it pans out. Some of the youth that are struggling emotionally, they're the ones that are not eligible for these programs because the programs just won't accept them, unfortunately. They do have benefits. Like I said, if they do end up leaving care, they have benefits, financial benefits. I think Ms. Manette probably had said this. They get $1,000 from 18 to 21. That's two $500 checks. They have to be working or going to school. They also have had to take in those PAL classes I discussed. There's a fund called Aftercare Room and Board, which is it helps pay for rent, utilities, or food. They have to be working or going to school, and they don't have to take PAL classes for this one. It's just a $3,000 from 18 to 21. This will be a direct payment. So the $1,000, we will give them cash. The Aftercare Room and Board, it's a direct payment to like whoever, like the rent, the leasing office, or the utility place. The tuition waiver, so they'll have college benefits. So the tuition waiver, any public college in the state of Texas will not charge them. They have to use this by the age of 25. So they have to go to at least one class. They have to enroll for one college class before the age of 25. And when they do that, they can have college for free. All colleges, all the public schools can just waive the waiver. The one thing that I always warn the kids is, if they don't do the classes by the age of 25, they'll lose their thing. Their tuition waiver. If they start failing classes, the college can actually deny the waiver. They do not lose the waiver. They probably have to just go to a different college, but that college can say, hey, you're not passing this class, we will not pay for it, or they can just be kicked out of the college. So I always warn the youth that you don't lose the tuition waiver, but you can lose it for specific classes, or the college could just stop taking the waiver if they keep on failing. The education training voucher, the youth will have a state fund called Education Training Voucher. It ends at age 23. if the youth is that they don't lose. So it's up to $5,000. They have to go to a specific amount, 6 credits for spring and fall, for them to even actually activate the tuition waiver, or I'm sorry, activate the education training voucher, and it's at need. So if they're only taking 6 classes, they won't get the maximum amount. It's up to $5,000 a year. The Pell Grant is the federal grant that gives them money because they were in foster care. Basically, it is around $6,000, and it's the more classes that he takes, the more that they will get funds from the grant. And that there's a major warning on the Pell Grant. If they start failing and get what is unsatisfactory academic progress, if they don't meet that satisfactory academic progress, the college can actually decide that they're not eligible for that fund. So those are the warnings that I give to the youth. They get Medicaid until 26. So that's basically. I mean, there are probably some events that I missed, and there are some benefits that I missed, but that's the general gist of all of the CPS PAL programs and benefits that the youth will get. Did that answer some of the SIL placement question?
I think so. And I'll share this, which you shared with me, the statewide transition center, so that everybody can see. There were a couple of comments and questions in the chat. So Miss Kimberly Dugas, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Do you want to come unmiked and introduce yourself? You have a new organization.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So Guiding Our Youth is a faith-based nonprofit organization in Alvin, Texas. It's about 5 blocks from Alvin High School. I noticed earlier Monette was talking about the PAL for, like, of course, Harris County and Galveston County and Fort Bend, but I did not hear of anything for Brazoria County, and that's actually how Guiding Our Youth came into place. I'm actually a CASA advocate, and I'm a licensed foster parent. I have live experience from being a foster parent. It's a great nephew, so I know a lot about the system, and that's how come I started Guiding Our Youth. I feel like in dealing with these youth, they have transportation issues, so whenever I see that Hayes Center is, the single continuum contract for them, a lot of these youth, how do the ones in Brazoria County get access to PAL and all of that? Because that's what I want to help them get to and do, these youth down here.
Well, with coming from the Hayes Center regarding our PAL classes, we do try to go out into the community. I know some RTCs, if they have like maybe 4 or more youth that need PAL classes, we will send a PAL trainer, or we call a life skills trainer, to that particular facility to complete the life skills trainings.
Do you have a bunch of requests for that? Because there are educators on our board here for the Guiding Our Youth that would be able to help out with being able to, if needed, to get the PAL classes to these youth out here. I did see something about the independent self-study for PAL on the TFDPS website. So I was wondering, could we just do that with them if someone reached out, if the youth reached out to us?
Well, you can reach out to Satoya Babineau. She is the supervisor over our life skills trainers, and she can help coordinate. I know sometimes they do have volunteers that come to, because the life skills trainings are 30 hours, and sometimes they're divided up between 2 days a week, or like right now we have classes going on, and they're all-day classes, so that the youth can, while they're out on summer break, they can come and finish up their classes within 1 week. So we do have volunteers in the community that come out and they help present during certain portions of the classes. Like we may get someone in the financial industry to come to talk about, you know, the finance for the day that talks about finances and things of that nature. So
do they come out to our location, or they come out to the local group homes, GROs, or RTCs, or the foster homes and do that in Brazoria County?
I'm not sure. I doubt if they come to the foster homes individually because, you know, it takes for, but sometimes I know with COVID, we were doing them via Zoom. And that was able to, I guess, reach out to several more youth in the evenings, especially, you know, during the height of COVID. So Satoya Babineau would be the best person to discuss because she schedules the courses throughout the year. And I don't want to overstep and promise something that can't be completed, but I do know we do work with the entire Region 6. So in that aspect, you know, we do try to make sure that every youth that needs those classes, they receive those classes.
Miss Kimberly, where are you located?
Off of House Street, 201 West House Street, and I'm just trying to help out. Like I said, so the student that I advocated for at one time when she was going through PAL, she lives out here in Alvin. She said that they arranged for her to get transportation. Transportation never came to pick her up, and so she missed one whole day of class, and she said it was really far, and the person she was living with would work, so she didn't have a transportation. So I guess I'm just trying to help these youth. Again, I have a huge heart for them. I actually have a 10-year-old in my house now, but I'm advocating for all of these youth, and that's why I opened up this facility. We're not open yet till like June the 29th is when we will be. So that's why I'm just trying to help people out here in this area.
In the past, again, Ms. Babineau will be the best contact person. But in the past, they've held classes in Angleton. So they've held classes in Angleton, and that's not too far from Alvin.
It's like 35, 40 minutes, yeah.
The transportation is a big issue, but the placements are supposed to have transportation for our youth when they're in care. The CPS caseworker also has a transporter that can help, especially for like these items where it's like, you know, 5 or 6 days. So I think, and the PAL program also has a transporter that can help. So my suggestion is when a youth is having transportation issues, like you talk to the caseworker and the PAL worker so that we can have our transporters try to help, especially with something like, you know, like not an ongoing transportation issue, but like the PAL classes are just like 6 days. So we can definitely help. Like we should be able to like discuss with the placement and our caseworkers and the PAL program to be able to see what we can do to work towards getting that youth transportation.
Okay. Okay.
And I guess Kim, do you mind sharing your information? Somebody asked for your information in the chat. And then also, are y'all able to share Ms. Satoya Babineau's contact information in the chat also?
Yes, I will.
Okay, thank you.
So Guiding Our Youth, the website address, which is not complete, if you go to it, it'll just say that it's in being built. It's guidingouryouth.rocks, ROCKS. The address of the location is 201 West House Street in Alvin. And right now I haven't got the landline number right now. You can reach me by email, or I can give you my cell for now. Again, it's going to be June the 29th for when we actually will have that number and everything operating there. It'll be like a computer lab center, have desktop computers and printers for these youth to come in if they need to, you know, do some online something for whether it's driving classes and help with that, but it's also for the foster families as well, the people they live with, kinship or foster families. In going through my foster license, it was very challenging and complicated, all the things that they needed from me. Luckily, I own another business, so I'm actually able to, and savvy with computer and scanning documents, but I had to help other people do those things. So that's why Guiding Our Youth is open. It's to help their family, their kinship, to be able to get the documents that DFPS needs or that the foster agency needs to move the process of getting licensed along quicker as well. So that's what we're doing. I'm excited.
Thank you, Kimberly. And yeah, as everything is more firm, you share information with us and we can share it out to the whole group. And that's great to have another resource out in the Brazoria County area. And I see, thank you, Manette, for putting Satoya's email in the chat. I can share that in our recap as well. All right, we are getting short on time. Wanted to open share. There was one, Terrell, did you want to talk about your summer event coming up?
Yes, absolutely. I know we have just a few minutes left, so I'm going to be pretty brief. This year, this summer, Life Enhancement Services, the organization I work with, we are putting together a back to school event. So I just wanted to, put that out there. We haven't really gotten all of the details down. This week is when I'm going to do the most planning and try to pull together a bunch of different organizations. So I always want to put that out there. And if anybody wants to be a part of it, either as a vendor, as a part of the planning of it, feel free to contact me. I will leave my information in the chat box. The idea is to, essentially, provide back to school resources for all of the children in Houston. We are going to our location is going to be pretty central for HISD and Aldine School District because those are the schools, the district we will be working with for the 22-23 year. But we still want to invite anybody in Houston or the surrounding areas because our work, our therapy work, it spans. So this whole event is going to be geared towards HISD in Aldine, but we invite anybody to bring their resources. And if there's anyone who would like us to just pass out information for you for this event in the summer or other events that we attend, feel free to contact me. We always pass out other organizations' information because it's so important. So I don't want to take up much time. That's a little bit on that. And once it starts to, once we get some more plans going, I will reach out, send some emails, and try to get some things going with you all.
Awesome. Thank you, Tyrell. There were a couple other chats, so I don't want to ignore those. We had Mr. Drew Melton introducing himself, and also Miss Felisa Epps, who was with Next Gen program. We're going to be running a little bit over, but I want to give them time to introduce themselves. If you're able to stay a little bit longer, great. If not, totally understand this is recorded and we will share it. Mr. Drew, did you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. My name is Drew Melton, and I'm an ETV specialist with BCFS Health and Human Services, and I work with the ETV program. It was mentioned a lot today. I do presentations all across the state on this program, and really important for this fiscal year up until September 30th, the funding has gone from $5,000 per school year to $12,000 per school year. So that's kind of gonna bleed into this school year, the 22-23 school year, and it's really important that our students know about this. So if you want any more information, go ahead and contact me. It's on the screen and it's in the chat.
All right, thank you, Drew, and we'll share that in the recap as well. All right, Felisa, did you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Felissa Epps, and I am with the Next Gen program with Workforce Solutions. We work with youth between the ages of 16 and 24 who are out of school. We offer employment opportunities and education opportunities and supportive services to the youth who are enrolled in our program. I did leave my email information in the chat box. I would love to connect with most of you, if not all of you, to see how we can partner together to provide services to the youth that are in the foster care system. Thank you for the opportunity, Anna.
Thank you, Felissa. I think there's a couple people with their hands raised. If you want to go ahead and unmic yourself, go ahead, please. Elvia?
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Well, we're a training facility. So what we do, we're approved by the state of Texas as a training facility in the skilled trades. We teach young adults that are facing obstacles and can go into a traditional school like universities or colleges into doing a professional career that can get them into a good stable job after graduation. So our students typically come to the program for 7.5 weeks. We are in partnership with Ms. Felicia, like she just stated. She scholarships, well, the program scholarships a lot of our students, which includes their tuition, books, and tools. We're approved by Workforce Solutions, and we are partner them as well. So what we do is we give them hands-on training. We have a lot of kids that are kinetic learners that we're not really pushing the education for, or they think that they can be successful in education because they're not learning the way that they are most engaged in. So we do hands-on training for a skill trade that is a high growth demand in the field. So if anybody wants to become an electrician, women or men, 17 to 24, that's really the demographic we're mostly focusing on right now, but anybody 17 and older can join our school. We do have a program coming again on July 11th, and we invite anybody that wants to come see. We work a lot with the foster children, youth, because they're aging out of foster care and they can't sustain themselves. Well, this is a great program. They start making $16 to $20 an hour after graduation. We already had our first graduating cohort of 5 students, and 3 of them already got hired not even a week after graduation, because we're including the tuition, we're including the tools, we're including the license through the state, and we're giving them hands-on training. So this is not just, you know, for somebody that wants to be an engineer or a doctor. This is for a skilled trades worker. So that's what my demographic is, to, you know, help that, whatever it looks like, from underserved communities. It'll be foster care, homelessness, or somebody with just no income that's going to go to school that wants to do something with their hands and build a profession for themselves. So I just wanted to introduce myself. I can definitely give you my information. I am the school owner, and we're here in Pasadena area. We only have 1 location, but we are going to expand. So that's just something that we want to put out there for anybody that thinks, you know, some of the you know, young adults that they work with can benefit from this. We encourage them to come look at the school to see exactly how our labs look, where they're going to be doing the work.
Thank you, Elvia. Great information. Yes. Would anybody else like to share any information, upcoming events?
Can I ask a question to Mr. Drew? How long will that excess funds for the ETV be active? Is it for like just this year, or is that next year?
The funds will be active until September 30th of 2022, or until funds are exhausted, whichever one of those comes first.
Thank you.
And I see a question from Elva. Are you talking about the program that Miss Elvia was just talking about?
Yes, somehow I missed the name of the program.
Oh, and Elvia, if you would like to
set the name, sorry guys, I went right to it. Our school is called Texas Technical Trade School.
I shared that flyer before, but if you email that to me or put your information in the chat, then I can share it in the recap as well.
Yes, definitely. I'm trying to figure out where my chat thing is at and it's not letting me. So I'll definitely send you our updated flyers for our courses and the assistance that come with it as far as scholarship opportunity, especially like Ms. Epps said, they help 16 to 24 that are experiencing homelessness or in the foster care, and they directly get them qualified for those services, which we're a partner of. So our students, you know, that's a lot of the talking that I go do is at high schools or at nonprofit organizations to help those kids know that, hey, there's other education routes that you can take that are going to be just as beneficial as going to college or university.
Great. Okay, awesome. Any other comments from anyone? So I did just go ahead, and I know it doesn't work on the screen sharing, but I clicked the wheel of opportunity. It landed on community-based resources. So that might be good for the middle of summer. I know people are on vacations and our attendance might kind of go up and down. So kind of similar to our open share, we can just have everybody share their resources, even if you share today. You know, repetitiveness is always wonderful also. Anything else, Maya or Maisha or Aurelia? Anything we missed?
No, I remember in a meeting we discussed about having a meeting for July. I can't remember the details. If we were going to have a meeting for July, but then we were going to, I don't know, do a survey or something like that for August to see if we were going to take a break or if we're just going to keep going for the summer.
Yes. Thank you. That's right. I forgot. So maybe we'll put that survey in the recap. Do we want to have a summer break? Maybe we all, that'll be our summer break, July, come back in August with those community resources. But we'll put that survey in. Otherwise, we'll probably see you in August. I'm assuming everybody likes a little break. So thank you all to our presenters. Hopefully at the next we'll get Summer in to come speak on her lived experience soon. Thank you for staying over, and have a great afternoon. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you all.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.